Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. The Other Sean, and sitting across the Holotable from me is Josh, a.k.a. The Golden Pop-Tart.
So this week we have a little bit of news. I mean, it's like
Behold.
We woke up and we get stuff, and some of it I'm like, yay. Other stuff I'm like, oh. And then some of it I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we've got our comeuppance this week, is what we've got.
We do.
You know, we talked last week about how some weeks there's a lot of news, some there isn't, and that there's always a lull around the holidays while CG is out on break. But then even after they get in, there's usually a bit of a lull because they're working to push stuff out, and it's going to take a little while to set up. The lull's over. So we're going to be talking about the comeuppance. That's Zorii Bliss's ship, which sadly does not have a co-pilot of Babu Frick. So
I know, right?
We're going to have a moment of silence for Babu. And we have a Conquest coming up, a brand new Conquest, which means those new Datacrons.
Yeah.
We got to talk about them. We just learned about them. We just got all the stats. So we're going to talk about comeuppance, Datacrons, and Conquest tonight. But first, before we get into any of that, we got a couple blurf days to celebrate. All right, I guess this is technically a blurf day. On the 19th, comeuppance happens.
It's
It's
day
being
one.
blurfed into the world on this day.
It's the official blurfing of the day.
Galactic blurf. Yeah, so that's going to be, 0 days old. Excellent. We'll talk about that later because I don't know. I don't have my mind made up if it's going to be good or not. I think it's going to be good, but we'll take a look. On the 23rd, we have Resistance hero Poe, who is turning 4 years old. Those Resistance hero boys. It's fun. We're talking last week, though, about how this is the week when something fun comes out in the game every year. Last year, it was Zorii. Yeah. Year before, I believe it was Armorer or something.
Yep, Armor.
But it's always like a little a booster unit that doesn't have to be on a certain team. It's like you could try some different things out here, sort of. Don't need it for a Galactic Legend or anything. It's just a for funsy thing. And I guess that's comeuppance. So
I mean,
we'll see.
It's interesting because Zorii a year ago, right? So, I mean, or she just become accelerated now, right? So was she last week or this week?
She her blurf day was last week. Yeah,
that's what it is. Yep. And so then, a year apart, we get the ship. So, just hopefully it'll do the same thing because we were talking beforehand about the fact that Finn became good, right? And I'm telling you what, like it's still a scary team to look at sometimes if you don't have a lot left. And so
there's good counters for it, but yeah, exactly. If you don't have the right things left, it's a pain.
So who knows? This might be it.
That's the thing with some of these teams, though, also to keep in mind is like, people talk about Lord Vader's no good because he can be beat by X, Y, and Z. And they're listing a bunch of Galactic Legends or comparable teams, usually, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Fennec can beat him, but let's be real. That is not a hard counter. That is a soft counter. It works sometimes. Sometimes it is an utter failure, and you need the double tap. So, I mean, stuff like Zorii, if it eats up a good team, you'd be like, Afra beats it. Yeah, well, Afra beats everything these days. So
yeah, right.
So I still think Zorii is a pretty solid Grand Arena type team, like a B team, but we can't all be Galactic Legends. That's deep.
It is a little bit. I mean, we can all strive to be Galactic Legends.
Right. I said something on my Twitch stream today that caught me, and I had to repeat it. It was just stream of consciousness that I said it, and I was like, whoa. I just said, I was picking what team I was going to use, and I was like, I could do like a 3-man team or a 4-man or something, but you know what? I don't have to be perfect. I just have to beat this guy. And I was like, God, that's my whole mantra for this game is I don't have to be perfect. I just, like in Grand Arena, you got one opponent. I just have to be better than that guy this week.
I mean,
and then I can go back to being
you've been living the whole thing about a bear chasing you. You don't have to be the fastest. You just can't be the slowest.
Right, exactly.
I mean, so that's just the same mentality for this game. That's perfect.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events brought to you by swgohevents.com. For a complete list of past, present, and future events, swgohevents.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. Now, on the 19th, we've got a Smuggler's Run. That's also when our Galactic Chase starts.
Yes.
So we're all excited. I am. I don't know. I'm doing jazz hands, literally.
I was going to say, with you people that have more than 39 energy, you're really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. They didn't give us enough time to stockpile thousands of energy. I got 1,000, which is better than I usually go into these things with. That's like my daily refreshes. Plus, I did a couple of the 100 refreshes today. So
I mean, if it was against my 39, it'd have a eat sign towards you, so you'd win. That's how I always remember,
like
greater than or less than. I'm sorry, but
yeah, I love it.
You're welcome.
On the 20th, we've got a ground war. Those are always welcome to me. Assault battles are king. We also on the 20th have Dark Sovereign. That is the Journey Guide Fleet Mastery event for Leviathan blueprints. And you guys, I'm going to get a Leviathan. It happens in 24 hours.
Ready.
I can't
all
wait.
Those Relic 9s, all that long
it was
time
all for something.
You to grind on that ship for the next little while, too.
Yeah. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to continue to be that guy, I should say, where I'll just set my worst fleets and I'm going to move this Leviathan into my attack squad.
Yeah.
Because attacking anything with Leviathan, you win. There's counters to it, but they require you to be specific. And I couldn't be happier about that. I hate ships so much. Give me that big nasty one over there so that I don't have to worry about them anymore. Thank you. I digress. 21st brings us Contraband Cargo, as well as Smuggler's Run 2, and the epic confrontation battle for Mandalore. This is the return of Bo-Katan Mandalore.
Sneak attack.
Now, this is the second time this is coming. Still can't farm Keller and Beck. And we
still no.
Just got IG-12 and Grogu.
And that's why I totally forgot about the chase and went right straight for that. I used up a good chunk of my energy because Grogu is on fleet. So, and then
yep.
Which Stormtrooper? What's the newest one? Wow. I'm good at Star Wars.
First Order Stormtrooper? Or?
No, the new trooper for Leia. He's a person.
Oh, Scout Trooper?
She's a person. Yes, there you go. That one.
Yeah.
So both of them are fleet, and I'm working on both right now. So at that point, I've been using even some refreshes into that. So I wasn't thinking.
Oops.
But hey.
We'll get there. We will get there. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. But this Bo-Katan thing, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Do you think, like, I don't know. I think we were talking about it earlier, too. It seems like the timing is just kind of off. And, I mean, you'd think at least that all of them would be farmable again. I mean, giving it twice to the whales,
the second time coming around and it's still not farmable? What?
Yeah.
Madness is this?
And my worry is that we're just not going to see it for like 6 months. And again, I mean, it may be 6 months before I'm ready, but
I was going to say
6 months. But
I'd almost rather, because if I'm not ready, I don't want anyone getting it. You know?
Yes. If you can't have it, I can't have it. You can't have it. That's how it is, right?
22nd is a little more chill. That brings us an Omega battle on Endor, as well as territory battle. See, I lied. It's not chill. It's territory battles. And then the 23rd, we've got a General's Command. That is the Fleet Mastery for Finalizer blueprints. On the 24th, we have a Defensive Dathomir for your Mother Talzin Shards and or Zetas. And on the 25th, we have a Fleet Mastery for the Radis Admiral's Maneuver. We also, on Monday, what's Monday? The 21st? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday's the 22nd. There we go. Yeah, obviously, Territory Battle Day. I hate to tell you this, but it's one of those days where Territory Battle and Conquest both hit you while you're at work.
It's the Mike Tyson 1-2, right?
It is. We're getting rope-a-doped by CG on Monday. So, set aside some time. It's gonna be brutal. Now, I guess before we get into news, let's transition for a second here and talk just for a second about Conquest.
Yeah.
So about going into it, we talked last time through, after having gone through this new Conquest, about how things went, what we liked and didn't like about, I guess, what we did well and didn't do well. Are you approaching this one differently at all, or like kind of any hot new strategies or anything?
I mean, I'm not sure about great strategies, but I tried hard last time. I'm going to try just a tiny bit harder this time and be a little bit smarter, And
yeah.
But no, I mean, it's been something really looking at exactly what I can do. And I think before I went into it thinking I was going to be able to do more, but I think some of the cheese stuff, that's the biggest thing, is I couldn't do the cheese because either everything would die or I just wasn't smart enough to know what exactly I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to give shout out to Darth JJ twice actually in this round here. But he's given me some advice, obviously. Then I've been doing some research, watching some videos as well, and just trying to, get some of that cheese stuff. But the big thing for me is going to be making sure I have the right, data disks, making sure that I'm able to, have 2 sets, and then really make it to where I can have a good defensive team. So I want like the easy sweep team, and then I want a hardcore defensive team. So, like if I can get my light side Mandos to work, and then some of those Sector 5 feats, I really got to do better with those. I only got 1. And I was leaving a lot on the table on that round.
I was going to say, that's 45 biscuits right there. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm going to really, again, I'm going to do better this time than I've probably have ever done. But on the other side of it, I really want to get to the second to last crate. That's 100% my goal.
Yeah.
And that means maybe spend a little bit of crystals too, I think, even going past the 50s to the 100s, and we'll see what happens. But
that's, you've got a different situation where you have to focus. I mean, we all have to focus on what is achievable, right? So like we were talking before the show about what you can do and what you can't. Like Tuscans, you ain't got the team. Don't worry about it. That's not a thing.
Move on.
So, you got to focus, say, all right, well, I can get this resistance stuff done. I can get this Jabba stuff done. Let's hit that stuff hard. Let's stay on top of it. And like you said, I think that's one of the big things to watch for. My two big things. I got Max Crate last time, so I know I have the roster to do it. I can do it. The 2 big things I'm looking for are getting better data disks, because I had good ones, but I didn't have any unstable decelerators. And those are just, one or two of those makes such a difference on some of those cheese nodes. So much of a difference. So make sure you have a voluntary vanguard, a volatile accelerator, a couple amplify agonies, a couple unstable decelerators, and then some health or protection stuff. And that's pretty much from what I've seen, and this may just be kind of the ones that they came up with, that the people who made the videos ended up getting. But I saw a lot of people using protection shields. Those seem to be, and I had a couple of those, so I used those. Those seem to be kind of nice for some of those cheese nodes where you need to draw it out and get more staggers or get more kills with this character or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in one of those. And a lot of those, you know, you play through the whole level and don't actually beat it. It's not wasted energy. It's a bunch of staggers. That's not a waste. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
But
right?
those unstable decelerators and protection and recovery things, those kind of help out in those situations. So I'm watching for those is my first thing. And my second is nodes. Having the right nodes. You want Phoenix nodes. You want crew nodes. You want really those two stick out as the ones that you're going to want to make sure that you have access to for some of those feats. Sector 5 feats specifically. Get yourself a crew or get yourself a Phoenix, because you need a team that can take a lot of hits for a long time to get those cheeses to work.
Yeah, and I was just thinking a second ago, it's like I want to make sure I get all the gold stuff done, the gold path, before 5. So that way I don't have to worry about that one.
Oh, yeah,
because,
yeah. So you can just...
You know, then I can choose what I want to. Because if I see a Padme or something, I just want to do it. I'm like,
No,
next.
No, thank you. Not today.
Yeah.
All right, before we dive into this week's top stories, I want to give a quick shout out to our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and want to be a part of our exclusive community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. Your support makes this podcast possible, and you'll even get access to the VIP section of our Discord server for some behind-the-scenes banter. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
Well, I mean, you said punch it, so I'm going to actually start with the news that's not really news. I wanted to just brag about this for a second. I'm sorry. Like, it has to go before the kit, has to go for the Datacrons. I got to talk about my mod poll real quick. About me first, sorry. So,
little flex here.
Luck. I'm going to say luck.
Yeah,
and so I'm going to start with, I decided I'm going to remod Reva because I wasted so much, not wasted. I invested a lot into her. So I actually took on the health diamond side of it. I went from gold up to green and got it 24, maxed out to 5. And I'm thinking, dang good, perfect. Applied that. Then I went to the circle and I had blue, like beginner blue, all the way up to purple, 24, 5 on that one. I'm thinking, wow, okay, this is like right in a row, same moment. Then I went to the next one, which is the cross, green to gold again. 23 speed on, and then I'm like, there's no way I can do better than that. And I end up going from blue all the way up to big blue, and I pulled a 29. Like, I pulled a 29.
29 health arrow?
Yeah, that was
For
awesome.
reference, I have 10 on mine.
Wait.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's impressive.
And again, it was one of those things where I was hoarding a bunch of stuff, and in the stuff was coming through, and I got a bunch of it. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Yeah,
and those were 4 pulls that I'm not going to have happen.
Galactic challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, like how many times do you go through and like you do a mod, and then all of a sudden it's like no speed, no speed, no speed. This one I'm like, I'm clicking the button, it's just speed. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Man, that's nuts. Congratulations.
See, that's why
on that.
I had to say that before everything else, so I apologize. So
yeah. No, that's fair. That is news. So that's
news.
a top story for you.
Well, let's start with a little bit of some of the smaller news real quick, too. So one interesting thing, we were just talking about Conquest. In the data mines, they're showing that there might be a disc where you get to use Darth Bane.
Oh,
and
that's
so
cool.
and it's equivalent to a Relic 9 Darth Bane. So how sweet would that be if we get to actually, if that's real, and then you get to see and use it with Sith Eternal? I mean,
that'd be great.
That's kind of exciting. So
Yeah,
that was pretty
really
cool. Other things in the data mine, nothing crazy, but in February we have B1. So all you conspiracy theory folk, use that as you may, but B1 is most likely for the calendar. So,
well, people have been conspiracying Phantom Menace anniversary into existence, so maybe first new character announced, though, a ship from the sequels.
There you go. Right. Just as they planned.
Yeah. Yep.
It's all right. Well, you want to start off with do the kit reveal?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about Comeuppance. It's Zorii Bliss's Y-Wing from the sequel trilogy. It's cool. It's the 5th ship for the Resistance, a non-capital ship for the Resistance. So the big news surrounding it is anytime there's a galactic challenge that requires ships, and it'll say like requires 3 Resistance ships, all those 3s, turn them into 5s, because it's always going to require 5 Empire ships, 5 whatever Separatist ships. So we're not going to be able to do whatever lineup we want and just hide 3 reinforcements. We're actually going to have to start doing these challenges with the intended fleet. I've seen a lot of backlash on this, and I understand it because it makes things more difficult for us. However, I feel like putting those 3 in reinforcements, like, that was never the intent, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's what we did because they couldn't force us to use a fleet that wasn't full. Now the fleet's full. Like, this is the way it was meant to be played. They're not going to change it. They're not going to go back. This is fair. Totally fair.
This is the way.
This is the way. Yeah. I got bigger things to worry about in my life than that. I got bigger things to worry about in this game than that. So, the other thing is, with all of these galactic challenges, it's hard to get too upset about any of them if you can get your 2 Omicrons.
Agreed.
If you can get
That's
your 2
a big
Omicrons, crates 9 and 10, they're neat. Who cares?
Like, they're niche, I mean.
Right. It doesn't matter.
I learned that anything above a C you're working too hard on. So if anything above 2, you're working too hard.
All right. So let's talk about this ship. It is a support, scoundrel, and smuggler, as well as resistance. And it's looking to make the resistance fleet decent. It works with some of the existing abilities of resistance, so that's cool. I think it has some potential. We got to see it in action, and we're gonna see it in action in the next couple days here. The basic is called IX-4B laser cannons, and it's deal physical damage to target enemy. If Comeuppance has dramatic entrance, all resistance allies gain critical chance up and critical damage up for 1 turn. If they're target locked, you gain dramatic entrance for 1 turn. Cool. First special is called Wanna Come With Me? She doesn't have that many lines in the movie. She's in 1 movie and doesn't have that many lines, so you get abilities called Wanna Come With Me?
I mean, as long as it's better than like just saying the or something.
Right, yeah. This has a cooldown of 3. This is expose target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. All resistance allies gain foresight for 1 turn. That's nice. If target enemy already had expose, call all resistance allies to assist, and all resistance allies recover 25% protection. That's got some potential.
Yeah.
That's really spicy. I like it. Adds survivability to an already quite survivable fleet, and that expose action is kind of nice. Calling all those assists, very, very cool. Unique 1. So there's only 1 special. Easy. Okay. Easy to use.
A or B on your D-pad.
Yeah, exactly. So first unique, there's two uniques here. One is called Spice Running Tactics. This is Comeuppance has plus 30% max health and max protection. Sure. Resistance allies gain 10% turn meter whenever they use a basic on an enemy with expose, which is going to be all the time because they're inflicting expose and she is calling everyone to assist, and that's going to be feeding turn meter to your other ships. So nice little turn meter generation there. Whenever resistance allies gain bonus turn meter while they have less than 100% turn meter, they gain protection up 20%, stacking for one turn. So not bad. You're feeding turn meter, you're bolstering. Love it. And then unique 2 is called I Think You're Okay. Again, not that many lines, I guess. Comeuppance has plus 100% counter chance. Yeah.
That's a lot.
See.
Yeah.
So resistance allies always gain 10% turn meter whenever they use a basic with expose also, and she's got 100% counter chance, so this is nice. Whenever another resistance ally with deflector shield uses a special ability, Comeuppance assists, using her basic, giving herself turn meter. Whenever a resistance ally attacks out of turn, they gain potency up for 2 turns and inflict target enemy with target lock for 1 turn if they didn't already have it. So she's going to be regenerating that dramatic entrance over and over. Which dramatic entrance, by the way, is plus 25% offense. Deal bonus true damage equal to 10% of the target's max health, which can't be evaded. Gain 20% turn meter and dramatic entrance for 2 turns if the ship defeats an enemy. It's spicy. It's really spicy. And then her reinforce is enter battle. Remove dramatic entrance from all allies, which the only other way someone would have it is if Poe came in with as a reinforce. But you would, in that case, remove it from all allies. Then all resistance allies gain dramatic entrance for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. All enemies are exposed for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. Reduce the cooldowns of all resistance allies with deflector shield by 1. I like it. I like it. Yeah. I don't care. I feel like all the comments on here and on Reddit have been like, this looks stupid. I think it looks pretty good.
I mean, if it can make it do something, I mean, yeah. I think that's when I think about like today. I ended with just having the Radis, and I'm going, oh no, I'm done. Right? This isn't going to happen. But what if it pulls off a Hail Mary and does something fun? You know?
Yeah. I mean it's definitely going to make it better. It's not a great fleet, but this is going to definitely make it better. And I wouldn't be shocked. What I would love to see is for Resistance to be a go-to fleet for anything, just for something.
Yeah, sure.
Like if you see Negotiator over there, you're like, oh, Radis can handle that. Or, you know, because currently I think, oh crap, the only thing I have left is Radis. Let's see if I can beat that or clean that up or whatever. So yeah, I think it's got some potential. Could there be more Resistance ships in the future that would continue to grow the fleet? Absolutely. But as it stands right now, I feel like it's in a decent place. I feel like this is going to put it on par with like an not executor.
That would be
finalizer.
Awesome, right?
This catches it up to finalizer level to me, I think.
I mean, but finalizer can go through and actually do something against executor. So I mean,
right. So let's see if maybe this guy can. Yeah.
Maybe this is like good against profundity or something, you know?
Yeah, I doubt that. But
I know, right?
That'd be amazing.
Or even executor. I'm good with that too. I mean, if they have it for the same one.
Sure. I should point out also when the post first came out, it's updated now, but when it first came out, they didn't have the artwork finalized. So Meathead just drew a little picture in like Microsoft Paint. God,
that was funny.
Brilliant. It Yeah,
I know, right?
So good. So good. About like
but
15 lines
we still
total.
knew what it was.
Yeah, you could tell. That's a little Y-Wing. I think there's some Star Destroyers in the background. Sure. Yeah. So with that, we also have another little bit of news. We got some Datacrons coming out. The old is being dusted. I don't remember my sets. 11
I'm sad.
is being dusted. 13 is releasing, and it's a bit of a rehash of some old stuff with some kind of new ideas in it, and a insta kill for Bo-Katan to turn her into
which is really nice.
Better than most Galactic Legends.
I know, right?
It's insane. So the factions this time around, it's going to be Mandalorians, Rebel Fighters, and Empire. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. No surprise with Mandalorians, right? Rebel Fighters and Empire. I can wrap my head around that. I like that it's Empire and not just Imperial Troopers, because that makes it a little more versatile. Because you've got Inquisitors, you've got Lord Vader, you've got Troopers, of course, and I mean so many different kind of variations.
Inquisitors, I mean, is the one I'm
this can do.
the most excited for.
Even a Star Killer team can benefit. Yeah. Like this Palpatine can, and Mara Jade can benefit from this. So,
I mean,
what are your first impressions here?
Well, the one thing that's interesting is, again, I'm thinking this is dodge, but when I'm looking at deflection chance, is that dodge?
I know. Doesn't that mean the same thing? Like, maybe I'm too dumb here. Maybe I'm out of my depth, but I think that's the same thing. I do
remember, I mean, the last time it was actually dodge, it said dodge, but I'm sitting there going, deflection chance. I mean, if that is dodge, oh man, right? But I mean, other than that, I mean, the stats themselves, again, we got more accuracy, which, okay. I mean, I like the tenacity. I mean, that's a good thing for it. I mean, and again, crit damage is great. They don't feel like it's earth-shattering,
I thought this was the case. I had to look it up to make sure. Dodge is for physical attacks. Deflect is for special attacks. Yeah.
Ouch.
So yeah, it is dodge, but it's just for special damage. So, whatever.
I mean, how creative, like, as long as it's not the same as, like, the defense was, where it's, like, 600% defense. If it's, like, 600% deflection, I mean, I'm going to be doing basic with characters that just, no.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends. That's the thing. I haven't looked at the numbers lately, but I feel like most characters do physical damage instead of special anyways. I mean, I know Grandmaster Yoda does special damage. I think Emperor Palpatine does special. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty others, but I don't like it. I don't like to see that. Not at all.
I mean, if people didn't watch your stream, then you saw a lot of dodges today in one of your battles. So it's like, that is the feeling I don't want to repeat on a regular basis.
Well, I'll tell you what. This whole accuracy, the special accuracy from the last set.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say I saw it coming, but I'll say it makes sense. If one set has a bunch of accuracy, this next one has a bunch of deflect. So
I thought you were going to say, I told you so with that. I was just waiting.
Oh, no.
But you didn't.
No.
You didn't say
I
that.
absolutely did not. Okay, so, yeah, that's the stats. Alignment. They've actually got some differences between the light side and dark side ones this time around. They both have a lot of the same, right? But then they each have this kind of different threshold thing. So with dark side, it's the first time each dark side ally reaches 90%, 70, and 50% health. You inflict doubt on a random enemy that doesn't have it for 2 turns, and that can't be dispelled or prevented. Okay. And then the light side version is first time each light side ally reaches, it's not even the same numbers, it's 75, 50, and 25% health. grant them protection up 50% for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or prevented. All right, fine. The light side and dark side things, the rest of them are all the same. There's one that looked good. Whenever allies inflict a debuff on an enemy, they deal damage to that enemy equal to 2% of that enemy's max health, which doesn't sound like much, but some of these really debuff heavy teams, I'm thinking Malgus, I'm thinking Bad Batch,
Inquisitors too, right?
Yeah, Inquisitors.
Because purges technically.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff could be pretty big, and all you need is like really rip their health and protection down with that. Do a couple AOEs to finish them off, and you're done. So the alignment stuff's not bad. The faction stuff, like I said, it's Mandalorians, Rebel Fighters, Empire. I didn't see anything on here that stuck out. You've got stacking offense for Mandalorians, and that is triggered by whenever a Mando damages an enemy with an attack. If that enemy was damaged during the last Mandalorian turn, they gain 2% stacking offense. That's good. Stacking offense is always one that you look for that, because that's a big deal.
Like, I was thinking, the interesting thing was, I was thinking, well, with Maul, but a lot of times you delete them in that turn. So I was thinking, like, but still, I'm really going to work hard for that one and really kind of bump up who I can take out with Maul, because he really, I'm looking forward to that one.
You've got the no revive ability for Mandalorians this time. Cool. I like that. I feel like that's a useful thing to have in your toolkit. Let's see. There was a Rebel Fighter one that looked pretty spicy too. 10% turn meter whenever they get a buff from an ally. That's kind of nice. Nope, it's not that. Here we go. Whenever allies critically hit an enemy during their turn, this is for Rebel Fighters, so there's a lot of good crit chance on Rebel Fighters. That ally gains 10% offense for 2 turns, stacking. So, a lot of AoEs, you look at your Rolo, you look at your Jin, any kind of AoE stuff, that's going to build up pretty big, so that next hit's going to be kind of spicy. So, I like that. And then Empire, we've got...
there's a couple good ones in here.
There was a couple that...
I like the one there, at the start of their first turn, allies gain offense equal to 400% of their current defense until the end of the battle. Then they lose 50%.
That's a thing for Imperial troopers right now. So as that set disappears, now they're basically just taking that and expanding it to whole Empire. It's great for troopers. Really, really good for troopers. I could see that being really good for Inquisitors and Lord Vader as well. I think those would be really nice additions. That's all good. Now, let's look at the characters, because that's the most interesting part to me. Even if it's usually some of the least impactful. Those faction ones are some of the ones that kind of change the meta in a way, more than a Bodhi Rook Datacron might. So let's start with the elephant in the room.
Might happen, you're going to get them all up to Relic 7 to do these,
Stop
right?
Stop trying to make Bodhi happen. It's not going to happen.
I know, right? It can't.
Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
That's insane.
The rich get richer, man.
Yeah, so holy smokes. All right. So at the start of battle, one enemy loses all protection.
Yeah.
Which is rude. Then, and it's random, one random, non-galactic legend loses all their protection. Whenever she uses her basic, if the target enemy is not a galactic legend and has no protection, as we know someone over there has no protection, they are instantly defeated. Also, at the start of battle, someone loses all their protection and Bo takes a bonus turn. So then she shoots him and kills him, right? Instantly defeated. And then she takes a bonus turn. And that can't be prevented. So it's important to note that the protection disappears from one opponent only. That does not repeat. It's not like a loop.
Yeah.
However, if they have no protection, they are dead to her basic, period.
It's
so
a
Lord Vader,
nuke. It's like a nuke shot. Like oh man, it's just crazy.
Lord Vader, he's a galactic legend, right? But it's going to be
all of his people.
Boom, you're dead. Boom, you're dead. Boom, you're dead. Because he converts all that protection into health for his team, just like a Darth Nihilus lead does. No one uses that, but she would definitely solo a Darth Nihilus lead. So any team, she's going to just yeet somebody right at the start of it and take another turn. But specifically Lord Vader, his whole team dies, and then it's her turn, and her team just converges on him. That's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
His hold rate is going down. Now, the good thing is there's hardly any Bo-Katans out there, but that's about to change.
Yes. Now, and the interesting thing, too, is if you put that also, too, with the whenever an ally defeats, they can't revive. I mean, I know not just with Lord Vader, but in general, I mean, guaranteed one person, if you're going against Jabba with this, and you get lucky enough, it's Karsantan that's, loses protection.
Yeah.
And you take him down, he can't revive. I mean, that even gives you a shot. I mean, a little bit of luck, but
yeah. No, I think that's perfectly reasonable to think that would happen, because once Karsantan's out of the way instantly at the start with no chance of coming back, and then it's Bo's turn, they can wreck Bausch.
Yeah.
And whatever you've got on your Bausch Datacron, cute. If she doesn't get a turn, right, it doesn't matter. So that's interesting. That's really interesting.
I mean, I won't be able to obviously see it, but can't wait to watch the videos of this. This is going to be cool.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's going to be extremely popular.
That I really like. I like Beskar Mando's. His is after using disciplined setup, until he uses swift takedown, he can't be defeated and is immune to fear, stun, and turn meter reduction. That's awesome. Because that's the thing with that. How many times have you gone into disciplined setup, and then before you can actually do a swift takedown, you're dead?
Yeah.
That's stupid. We hate it. So I was reading this and thinking they should just update his kit to make it like that.
Right? Awesome. That'd be nice.
Swift takedown deals 20% more damage for each stack of whistling birds the Mandalorian has at the start of the turn. So that's really exciting. I like that. I also like the regular brown Mando. It's he gains 15% turn meter when other allies use a special on their turn. So it's going to be like he's going to be going nonstop, which is it's so funny because I mentioned Fennec is a soft counter to Vader, Lord Vader, right? This is going to make it a little more firm. Because he's going to be taking a lot of turns and getting his cooldown out a lot faster, triggering payouts faster. Like, this speeds that team up. And it's just...
I mean, we might have to talk to CG's parents about bullying, because this isn't right.
I know, exactly. Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to get worse before it gets better for some of these cats. I'm thinking also it's going to be rough for Leia, because the Drogon and the Leia Datacron are both going away. And we already, like today on my stream, was my first time using Jabba against Leia, and it just wipes her. It's not hard. She's done. She's gone.
But I guess, too, I mean, because she revived, don't they revive from that, too?
They do.
Is there a chance? I mean...
well, so not for the... I was thinking just the Jabba counter. but maybe.
But Mando,
never say never, right?
They can't revive. I mean, she can. What if it's on Drogon, and you get a chance to take him gone, or R2? Whew.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, because anyone right off the bat is going to be wiped out. With my luck, it'd be Mon Mothma.
I know,
you can't target her.
You can't target her. You're like, that's so mean.
Oh, that might be.
Oh man,
that might be something to that. I don't know. Let's see. Bodhi exists. He's got one.
He does.
I don't think it's worth talking about because no one has it. Jin, whenever she critically hits an enemy, she gains 10% crit damage, defense penetration, and offense, stacking up to a max of 200% until the end of battle. Not bad. I'm curious if that'll open up an Admiral Raddus team to do anything it wasn't formerly capable of. I feel like it'll still be used on the same battles, just maybe a little more efficient.
Just tough because that last person isn't in relics. So, I mean,
sure.
That's kind of the challenge. You know, it's like I'd have to put somebody randomly in there.
I like Biggs. Whenever another ally attacks during his turn, which he has that move that calls an assist, and that he and that ally gain 25% turn meter. Not bad.
Yeah.
And I like Shore Troopers. Shore Trooper is whenever he's dealt damage, reflect 20% of the damage dealt back onto the attacker as true damage, which can't be evaded. This can't defeat enemies. It's basically a mini steadfast retribution, but it's nice because he has a pre-taunt. So at the start of the battle, they're hurting themselves, and that's nice. That's the harder they hit, the more damage they take. That's cute. So overall, looks like a decent Datacron set. I think I like it. I don't like the dodge, but otherwise,
correct.
I think there's some cool abilities in here. It'll make some teams a little more competitive, and that Bo-Katan, man, whew, we're gonna have, because no one knows what she does. No one faces her. I think I heard there was like 900 of her in existence.
Wow.
I haven't looked it up to verify, but that's like nothing in this game. So, we're going to all learn how painful she is soon. And then we'll all learn after this Datacron set dusts what she actually is like. Yeah.
I'm just glad that Starkiller's back. So, I mean,
yeah,
the fact that we're not going to have as much defense out there too. I mean, the good and the bad. There's not crazy health or protection with this stuff now. It is just,
yeah,
dodging, a little bit of accuracy
and not dodging.
Yes,
that's rough. So it's time. Let's do our Grand Arena breakdown, where victories are celebrated and defeats are typical. If you want a front row seat to the action, catch us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/theothershawn and twitch.tv/thegoldenpoptart with a 1 instead of an L because someone was rude. Join the chat, cheer us on, and watch the chaos unfold. Are you ready? Neither are we. Let's do this. How was your first round in week 3?
Well, Kyber 3 helped. So I was glad to be back, and so
right, yeah,
so that I got demoted. Good to be home, right? And so ended up with a win. That's how I started off with. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
And that was from last time. That's 1380 to 604. So I actually got some holds. Next time around, I got beat up, like punched, kicked, maybe a little spit on too. They scored a whopping 1848 against me.
That's hard.
And so I end up getting a full clear, but it wasn't pretty. 1772. We weren't even a country yet for that one yet. But as a whole, I mean, it was nice, though, because the first time using Reva on offense, that was fun. And then I was able to get through everything through ships, but it was gross. I mean, wasn't fun. It was gross. And so then going into the round 3, I did get another win against Starwalker. The nice thing is they just did one attack. And what happened was we had some family stuff going on, so I'm like, I need to hurry and at least get something in. And I think they saw that I full cleared up until I got to the ships. Now, if they would have been smart, they probably could have got me because the ships I wasn't going to beat, but still. So ended that round 2 out of 3, so I'll take that.
That ain't bad.
When I look at it, though, my stats that you put on here for me, only 1 defensive hold.
Oh,
Ouch.
man. Who was it? Did you look it up?
It's always T.O., so I only get 1 hold usually, and I get more than 1 hold normally, but still. So then moving into this round, it was a really fun one, actually. It was really fun. I wish I could have streamed on this one because it was just, I don't know, I had a lot of just good teams, and they really kind of made, our defenses were very similar, so it was like both of us trying to go for it, but I do weird things. Like, I always like to enjoy like Jedi Master Luke versus, SLKR. I just feel like it's just, you got to do it, right? And so
hope that it generates Crate as the planet to battle on.
Yeah, right. Well, I definitely went this 3. I wanted to be a little bit more heavy on offense, so I bought Reva on offense, and then I'm finding that I have way too much offense. I should have put more on D. So Reva got to go against a Qui-Gon team, so that was easy. So Imperial Troopers got to go against a Phoenix team without like an Omicron, So I mean, that was interesting. And then I got to use Kenobi versus a Radis team. So I mean, it was just so interesting. So I full clear all the way through.
Overkill, love it.
Yeah, right. I mean, I didn't even get to use Starkiller. That's how much it was. But then when I got to ships, I started really, really well. So the last few times I finally learned how to beat Executor with First Order, and I'm doing it consistently now. It just usually what would trip me up is when Slave 1 would come in with a pre-taunt. And so then it would cause me sometimes, I'm like, why am I not using the 3rd special, for Bosk? And I just wasn't doing it. And as soon as I started to do that, now it's been consistent. So, just finally learning. That was my New Year's resolution. I haven't quit on that yet, but then I found that Leviathan, even a 4-star Leviathan, is a mean person. So I finally get, and this is life, right? This is me. Like, as soon as I start to get past the Executor, which has been something, I got a new enemy. I got a new person that's kicking me when I'm down. But still, defensively, I did actually double the amount of holds I got the whole time last time. And so I put Sith Eternal on defense with Watt. I know that's kind of weird, but it worked. It got me a hold, and then my Rey got a hold too. So I'll take that. But still, in the end, I lost 1474 to 1794. I could have won if I just could have got through that Leviathan. I would have probably actually gotten into the mid 1800s, but instead, again, still not America at 1474. So,
man,
all right. So that's mine from there.
Here,
so,
right?
How about for you?
I did all right. So last week, I believe we had learned, that I lost to Azrael 821 to 1748. Real rough stuff. But I've been hot since. Round 2, I took down Mikhail Aldanov 1737 to 172. And then round 3, I won over Azura 1849 to 959. So pretty hefty stuff. 84% win rate. I'm pretty happy with that. I got 16 defensive holds that week. So
did they group you by alphabetical order? I mean, you had 3 A teams there.
Azrael, Azura, and then so starting week 3 up against Amma.
Right? What is going on there? On.
And then Mikhail Aldanov was his last name. It is. Yeah. It's all what? That's weird. Okay, so against Amma, that's who I fought today on Twitch. You can check it out on our website, on YouTube, or on Twitch also. And that's another update. Did we mention that we're on YouTube? No, I think we mentioned it last week.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. Check out Radio Free Tatooine on YouTube. You get Twitch battles. You get this show on YouTube. You get to look at a logo while you listen,
Yes,
which I guess you can do
right.
in your podcast player too. But anyways, went up against Amma. I got to use Jabba against Leia for the first time. I got nervous. I'm thinking it's going to go wrong and I'll lose to Leia, but my opponent hadn't put up much of a fight. So I thought, maybe I got this. I think they had like 258 points when I logged in. Jabba just wrecks Leia. That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I look forward to doing that like every round now.
So I do want to say to people, you need to go watch the stream, because basically right at the end, as all of the thermal detonators are starting to pile up, you did like a special, and it just a pause, and you go, oh. And it was just a pause. It was just like, I wasn't expecting that to happen. I thought that was like,
Leia had
real.
like 100 thermal detonators on her or something.
It was crazy. And you're just like, oh.
That's so that's how that works.
Yeah.
I had easy ships. I think Negotiator was the toughest thing they set on defense. I respect that, because that's what I do.
Yeah,
I
sure.
set Negotiator, Malevolence, and something else bad. I don't know. I set Endurance with the Sith fleet, so I'm gonna have to switch that and set something else, because I'm bringing them all over for Leviathan next time around. I did fail Starkiller versus Rey. Couldn't get it done. I didn't manage my inspiration at the start. So Jedi Training Rey did what she does and just dodge everything. And I had to throw it on auto and hope for the best, and it just didn't happen. So I left her and Ben Kenobi. No, her and
Yes.
Ben Solo. So that's nice, because Ben had a sliver of health and Leader's dead, so he's not going to return. So I sent my Ewoks in.
Nice.
And they just wrecked them. And for two characters that give me so much trouble in Grand Arena, to see Ewoks just having a field day, just throwing rocks and just wrecking them, it was great. General Skywalker failed against Radis. I forget that I've had this issue. I don't see it that much, but that can be an issue when they have Scarif Rebel Pathfinder that keeps popping up with the taunt. Because you need to focus down Radis, but you can't, because you can't get around that taunt. So that was rough. I did a cleanup. I took down like two of them, I think. Ended up doing a cleanup with Jedi Master Luke, because the defenses weren't that hard, and I had it left. So Lord Vader, for me, got 2 holds. Say something. Dark Trooper Moff Gideon got a hold. That was
Nice.
exciting. That's my first time placing him on defense, so I was really happy to see that. And then my Malgus got a hold, and it was fascinating. I cannot wait to see what they used against it, because the only thing left was a Sith Marauder. So, like, I mean, what?
Yeah, right. Like, how does that work?
Like, did they try Sith Eternal Emperor without Watt or something? I don't know. Or give him the wrong tech, maybe? I don't know. I can't imagine what happened there. But ultimately, I won by 40 points.
Heck yeah.
1797 to 1757. And it was, they only had 258. And I'm like, well, all right, I guess that's it. And in the last hour, they went at it, and I watched that score grow and grow. But I knew I had tripped up twice, and I knew that at that point they had already tripped up 3 times. And I thought, God, they got to be perfect to beat me now. And they weren't perfect, and they weren't better than the next guy. So, we're running a little bit long, but there's something we got to address here. We have a weekly Patreon poll, as decided by you, our loyal Patreon Jawas. To vote, visit patreon.com/Galactic War Report and support the show at any level. Then follow the links to our Discord server and you can vote. Your support keeps the hollow table lights on and the sand crawlers running. This week, we just went with something. It's not like wild, what if, fun stuff, something a little practical. We asked, what show segment do you want us to focus on? Like, what part of the game do you want us to focus on the most? Grand Arena, Speeder Bike Pursuit, Territory War, Territory Battles, or Conquest? And the winner here is Conquest. So we talked about it. So there you go.
We did. There you go, right?
And we'll be
rewind if you want to hear more. Right?
It's a 2-week event. It doesn't start for a while. So next time we speak, we'll only be a few days into it, and we'll have a lot more insight to share as well. So thanks for voting, and thanks for keeping the lights on and the Sandcrawlers running. So now, boy, we're like at the hour mark already. These people have been sitting in their driveways for 20 minutes.
I know, right?
Spouses
like, I want to go in.
They're like, yo, get in here and help me with the kids. But we gotta let them know who you grinding.
So I made some moves this week. I've been hoarding, and I do this sometimes just because I want to feel good for one day instead of like a long time, I guess. But so profundity. Jin went from Relic 0 to Relic 5. She's done. Biston went from Relic 0 to Relic 5. He's done. The tough one. Cassian went from Relic 4 to Relic 8. He's done. Oof. And so Dash, Relic 5 to Relic 6. And then I am spent. I am spent like so hard. But one more. I got one more Relic level, then finally I will be ready to go. And then I can get a 4-star profundity.
Hey.
So I'm excited for that. So
that's where it starts. That's where the fun begins, so to speak.
Yes.
4-star profundity can absolutely wreck an executor.
And that's what I'm hoping for. And I mean, just give me a little support, and go from there. But
First Order, thank you for your service. I've got a profundity now.
You're probably going on defense. So,
yeah.
So, and then the bow grind there, Paz, 19 out of 85 up to a whopping 45 out of 85. IG 12 and Grogu, 5 out of 30. Since now we can do a little bit. All of that energy that I should have saved up, I got a whopping 19 out of 30 out of it. So, but he went from Gear 8 to Gear 11 plus, ready to go. And actually all set there now. Kelleran did go from Gear 5 up to Gear 11 point almost everything. The only thing that's kind of mean is that CJ, usually like lately with the new tunes there, the last gear to 12 to go to 12, they don't have usually Cairo in it. Like, so 12 and Paz didn't, and the last one I did too, obviously, but then there's 2 of them for Kelleran. It's just mean. Yeah, it's just mean. So we'll get there soon too. I just want to get them all ready to go to where they're at, and then I can move on. Leo wise, my next relic is actually going to be Captain Rex. I've just decided I shouldn't, but I'm going to. But he went from 28 out of 100 up to 47 out of 100. So we're getting there. Drogon went from 24 out of 85 up to 54 out of 85. In Scout Trooper, I do know who that is because earlier I obviously had a brain lapse or something. 11 out of 85 up to 32 out of 85. So that's kind of nice. Now, I do think that I didn't do a Zeta. I have 4 saved up. I have 4 saved up right now. And so, but I keep on looking at that Rogue One team. I don't have any other than Radiss's. I actually really enjoy that team. I love using it on offense, and I'm thinking that I need to probably use some of those up. But yeah. So I am so glad I get to go in through that grind of the profundity, but on the other side of it, it feels really good to be right there. Yeah. So it just,
I feel what you feel with Leviathan. I'm right there. Just got done with that, so it's a weight off your shoulders.
I know. So I don't know how long until the next one, but hopefully it's pretty soon. So that's me. That's I feel like I'm there at this point. Like I said, I used all of my reserves, including a lot of gear that I didn't want to get rid of to get some of the scrap, but we are there. So So then I got to know for you as well. So who you grinding?
a whale. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I've changed stuff up so much in the past few days here. My Cal Kestis stuff, it's a guild priority, so now I gotta like start getting serious about it. I wasn't tracking it before because I wasn't really worried about it, but Tarful's at 15 out of 65, Saw's at 27 out of 85. They were both like gear 8 or so, and I've got Tarful maxed out at 11, and Saw is at gear 10, so he's getting there. My Leviathan grind, I took HK 47 from Relic 3 up to Relic 7, so that's done, and I'm big chillin', just waiting for it. I got some raid priorities here. So Aiden, fantastic in the speeder bike pursuit. I had her at Relic 5. I have taken her to 6, and we'll have her at 7 in about 54 minutes. When that refreshes.
Now he's counting. But
yeah. I'll be going after that ship, and I'll be getting my Relic 7 Aiden, which is great because we just launched a raid, so I'll have a chance to use her right away, which is really cool. Other things I'm doing, I've been on the fence about it for so long. Chewie is at Relic 6 because that's where you have to take him to unlock, I don't remember, something. Luke, maybe?
Jedi Master Luke, yeah.
I'm going to take him to 7. Kick him up to 7. I got one more character at 7 that I can mess around with. Plus, I mean, if the Falcon's a teeny bit stronger, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to take Hera from Relic 5 up to Relic 7.
Oh, wow.
Ship, who cares? Team, I care a little, but she's good in the raid. And the way, once I get Aiden to Relic 7, I'll have an odd number of characters that are Imperial Trooper or Evasion characters. So I need someone to pair with, and I decided Hera is my gal. So we'll be taking her to 7 as well. But she's only 5 right now. Marauder for ships went from 75 up to 89 out of 100. So we're almost done there. I should be able to finish that up in a couple days, especially with all this fleet currency I've been saving. Robo Gideon. Took him from gear 12 up to Relic 3. He might go to 5 if I get his Datacron. I wouldn't have a problem taking him to 5. He already got me a hold, so he's in my book on the good side. And then my Dark Trooper is in my favorites, hanging out at Relic 3. I've got till May the 4th to take him to 5.
I know. As you can see, I didn't say anything about Ida, so
it's going to happen. Well, I'll tell you also, Leviathan is very dumb. Strong Aiden means easier counter with Chimera. So, for what that's worth. Zetas, I have given Robo Gideon 2 of his Zetas. He's got one more, so I think he'll probably get my next. I'm looking at my favorites. I've got like Zorii and just a couple other things. I've considered now that I have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon and I can build a remnant team. Now I'm looking at Scout Trooper, because her Zetas are dependent on having a full remnant team, and I didn't have that before, so I didn't care. She's on the list. I don't know. We'll see. And then Omicron. I put one together today. Super exciting. Chrysanthemum.
There you go.
It's not that exciting. It doesn't change much. It just gives him a ton of extra protection and makes him a little dumber. Do I have regrets? I don't know. I really want to do Rex. Rex makes Phoenix work. Without Rex, without that Omicron, they're just simply not the same team. And especially I'm taking Hera to Relic 7, come on. How are you going to do that for your Phoenix and not give them the one Omicron they need? So that's probably going to be my next one. I've been doing such boring Omicrons for the most part. They're like utility Omicrons, like stuff that I need, like the Starkiller one. It's not exciting. It's just instead of dispelling stuff from one person, it removes it from everyone. On paper, it's not exciting. It's helpful, right?
Yeah.
But end of the day, I still lost with him today, but that's all we got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend you spend your Omicron on the most boring thing imaginable, like chrysanthemum. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server, linked in the show description. Become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon, and share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to swgoh.gg and swgohevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.